This is it. We got one. Okay. Amen. No time. Too much on my plate. Huh? It takes time. Everything takes time. The more you put in, the more you get out. You don't put any, that's the way it works. You don't put anything in, you get nothing out. That's the way it is. Ready, everybody? It's a very short halakha today.
You gave a teaser, right? So you could say.
Okay, no, you're on the yes team, and Yeshua's on the no team. Okay, so before we do it, let's just do one halakha that we need to know beforehand, and that is the halakha of shehiyanu in general. And so, the halakha that you say shehiyanu when you buy something good, something new, the halakha is, I'm going to read now from Yalkut Yosef. Kana beged hadash, if you purchased a new garment, afilu hayalo beged kazeh tehila, even if you had another one like this, let's just call it a suit jacket for now. I already had a suit jacket, and I'll buy another suit jacket. Yesh lo lebarech shehiyanu b'shem u'malchut. You have to say beracha shehiyanu. Baruch atah Hashem, Elokeinu melech haolam, shehiyanu v'kiyimanu v'giyanu lazaman hazeh. Thank you, Hashem, that you made me reach this time. Ve'av sheme'ikar adin, ve'atzrich lebarech be'et kiniyat ha'beged, even though the real halakha, shehiyanu, not now, but a long time ago, the real halakha is that you were supposed to make the beracha when you buy the item, not when you wear the item. Because what makes you happy? Buying the item or wearing the item? So the real way it used to be is, the true simha is when you purchase this item. However, now already the custom is that we only make the beracha when you actually use it for the first time. And something that's not very important, Kigon haluk or Moshe levanim, undergarments or shirts, or menalim vegarbaim, socks and shoes, which nowadays, especially in our age of living, you can buy these things everywhere. Everyone, thank God, everyone has shoes, everyone has socks. As many socks as you want, you can have. So these days, the shehiyanu beracha has become greatly minimized. It used to be, if you read from the Gemara, it used to be that it said shehiyanu for many more things than we do right now. Right now, we don't really bless shehiyanu. We're not filled with happiness on a purchase for socks. When maybe 2,000 years ago. So, yeah, or more if you bought Prada, yeah. And the barech alem shehiyanu. So these days we don't make shehiyanu on that stuff. What about a car? A car makes you happy. If you buy a new car and you're happy, or you buy new jewelry from Moshe.
Like it.
Or what's the Moshe fine jewels? Or other utensils that you're very happy about. According to the actual letter of the law, you would make shehiyanu in the olden times. Already the custom became the barech shehiyanu only al beged hadash, only on a brand new, we call it a suit. Even now, I stopped making berachas on my suits because sometimes I buy the cheap suits, the poly rayon suits. You can buy them for $90 these days. When I was a kid, I used to make shehiyanu on every time my mom got me in the suit. And so it's a very gray area, this whole concept of shehiyanu. There's also shehiyanu on other things, like for example, like Adam was saying, if you see a relative of yours that you haven't seen in 30 days and you're filled with joy, it's also shehiyanu. But the beracha has become minimized over the years. Okay, a new fruit also, right? Exactly. That one stayed. That one stayed. But buying stuff as we know it, it didn't really stay so much. Traditionally, it's the new suit. Talet. You have the guy on his wedding night. He makes shehiyanu on it. It's a very gray area, and I don't want to go into there now because that's not really the crux of the whole thing today. But I wanted to first do the halakha because that's what we're talking about. Buying new clothes that make you happy. And so now let's do Acham Vadia. Acham Vadia says, the question is, האם מותר לברך שהחיינו בימי ספירת העומר על פרי חדש or על בגד חדש? During the Omer, like I said downstairs, is it just like Tish'a B'Av time, the Ben HaMitzarim, that you should not, Maran Shulchan Aruch writes, Tov, that's the language Maran writes in Siman 515 for Tish'a B'Av. Tov, Shelo Lebarech Shechianu. It's good not to make Shechianu in the Ben HaMitzarim. So is it also now Tov, Shelo Lebarech Shechianu? And so Acham Vadia says, L'chaora, יש ללמוד דין זה ממה שכתב מרן שולחן ערוך in סימן 501, שטוב להיזהר, not 515, 501, שטוב להיזהר שלא לומר בחד שהחיינו על פרי חדש, או על מבוש חדש בימים שבין י"ז בתמוז ליום תשעה באב. Acham Vadia says, maybe we should just bring a comparison over, just like it says by the 3 weeks, you shouldn't make שהחיינו, so to over here you shouldn't. What's the reason? Because they're both of these periods of time are times of trouble and pain for us and mourning. Why would you think Hashem, thank you for bringing me to this time when this time is a sad time? It's not a happy time. These are troubled times for the Jewish people. That's why we mourn. We don't marry. You don't get married during this time. We're in a period of mourning. Hold on. First, we have to establish if it's asur or mutad, and if it's asur, that was the question downstairs, right? It doesn't make sense to answer that question first. First, you have to answer: is it asur or mutad? If it's mutad, forget the Rosh Chodesh question. What if we say it's asur? No. Hold on. That's a whole separate thing. There's a whole question of what the period of time of the students dying is. Traditionally, we Sfaradim hold it's from Pesach until Lag BaOmer, and we wait until Lad, 34. What period of time, there's a whole nother can of worms. But let's just go with what we do. Okay. Now, the Sefer Hasidim says that they're both periods of mourning. And Maran Shulchan Aruch writes it also. וכן כתב בשו"ת בנימין זאב. ואם כן, so too, גם בימי הספירה, שמנהג ישראל שלא להסתפר לאות אבל על 24,000 תלמידי רבי עקיבא, שכולם נשרפו בשנה אחת מפסח ועד פלוס עצרת, כמבואר במסכת יבמות, so too now, there's a time that we don't cut our hair or get married. Those are the two things that Maran Shulchan Aruch says straight out. Cutting hair, getting married. And also we don't do those two things by the 3 weeks. And so let's read the same thing. And who writes this? Also, Rabbeinu HaGaon in the Shuvat HaGeonim. B'ta'am ha'minhag shelo le'istāper me'erev Pesach ad yom Lad ba'omer. 34. And
Lad you do.
Lad you do. וכן כתב רבנו יצחק אבן גיאת בספר מאה שערים, and also writes the Sefer HaPardes, ועוד. And if you look at Shulchan Aruch in Siman 493, לפיכך יש לומר שאין לברך שהחיינו בימים אלה, מפני שהם ימי פורענות ומידת הדין מתוחה בהם. So too, I would say you should not make Shechianu during this time because it's a time of judgment. If there was a bad gezerah that came down on the students of Rabbi Akiva, that means it's a time of judgment. And the Chachamim writes here, with the end, check out Masechet Ediot. What does it say over there, Masechet Ediot? This is the classic Kaddish Mishnah. The Mishnah over there says it's Rabbi Akiva, ironically. Rabbi Akiva is giving a list of things that are 12 months. This is 12 months, this is 12 months, and what else is 12 months? The judgment of the Sha'im is 12 months, right? And then Rabbi Akiva in this Mishnah is saying a lot of things that are 12 months, a period of 12 months. And one of the things, the time span of certain things happening is 12 months. And one of them is the judgment of the Sha'im. And at the end, I think it's Rabbi Yonatan, I could be wrong. I forgot the person's name who argues Rabbi Akiva. And he says, no, the judgment of the Sha'im is not 12 months, not 11 months. The judgment, 11 months we do it because if you're not a Rasha, it's 11 months. And so nobody wants to say their parent is a Rasha, so we all do 11 months, right? But at the end of that Mishnah, I think it's Rabbi Yonatan, I could be wrong. He says, no, the judgment of the Sha'im is not 12 months. The judgment of the Sha'im is from Pesach until Shavuot. Now, what does this mean? Interesting statement.
The din is very chazak.
So it's a mahloket in the Mefarshim over there. What does it mean? Some Mefarshim say it's the time span, not that during this time the Sha'im are in Gehinam. Yeah.
It's 30
On the surface level, what it sounds like he's saying is during this time span, the Sha'im are in Gehinam and up there or down there, right? But a lot of Mefarshim say no, it's just the time span. Other Mefarshim say he's just trying to say from the time span of one holiday to another holiday, and this is the closest holidays we have in the calendar. But then I've seen other Mefarshim on that Mishnah say it means mamash. The Sha'im, Bad Minan, that are in Gehinam, they turn up the heat during this period of time. From Pesach until Shavuot. It's amazing. And so therefore,
that's what it
that's what
so many other ways to say anything else.
Yeah.
You could say from Moed to Moed, you could have said things like,
Yeah.
You could have said many other terms.
If you take it on the face level, that means, hey, this is not a good time. There's people suffering during this time. And so we shouldn't say, I'm so happy you brought me to this time. Look, these people suffering for this time. You should be celebrating for it. And so this is what Chacham is saying on the outset. Going to be Ephraim Lunchich, the rabbi of the Baal Tov. He also says Shaminhag Shelo Lebarech Shechianu B'Mei Sefirah, that you should not say Shechianu. And if it means you shouldn't say Shechianu, it means you shouldn't buy new clothes that get you to say Shechianu during the Sefirah. Okay. Ulam, however, לאחר התבוננות נראה שיש חילוק גדול בין המצרים לימי הספירה. Somebody says no, you cannot compare the two periods of time. ימי בין המצרים, the time of the 3 weeks in the summer, שיראו בהם חורבן בית המקדש ושאר פורעניות, terrible things that really bad things happen. המבוארים במשנה תענית הם ימי אסון כללי לעם ישראל בכללו. It's a general period of tragedy to the whole nation. Everyone suffered during the 3 weeks when we lost the temple. This also affected the whole nation. How could you say during the 3 weeks when we lost the temple? We cry every single year because of this. Hashem made all the bad things happen continuously on this one bad day, the Shabbat. But you could say that the days of Sefirah, like Moshe said, are not bad days for Klal Yisrael like the days of the Churban. He's lessening these days compared to the temple being burnt twice. The Adraba, I would say even the opposite. It's happy days now. Why?
Waiting for Matan Torah?
Katav HaRamban close. Katav HaRamban, the Ramban, famous Ramban. Ramban writes, Shekidushat Yimei HaSefirah Kimei Chol HaMoed. Remember this Ramban? Ramban says Sefirat HaOmer is like the Chol HaMoed Pesach. Huh?
Any connection?
Who doesn't? Oh, on that. No, not that I know. I don't think there's a connection. Interesting question. I don't think there's a connection. And so the Ramban, the famous Ramban says that the days between Pesach and Shavuot are all connected. And Shavuot is really like the final day of the holiday of Pesach. Right? It's a very famous Ramban. But then check out the Zohar, he says, check out other places. Well, what does he say? That it's okay and permitted to say Shechianu, and that's the custom. In the Sefer Pachad Yitzhak, that we can say Pachad Yitzhak. And who agrees with him? And he says, Shechina Minhag Begililotav, in his area, in his region, they do say Shechianu. Okay. Fine. The Fichach, it's very short. It's a very short halakha. The Fichach, therefore, I'll tell you, you know what? Let me just finish the last 5 names who say yes, Shechianu. So you know. The last 5 names are Rabbi Yitzhak Palaji in Yafeh Lev, that you do say Shehayanu, the Bushem Mordechai, Rabbi Eliyahu Hamaway, Ab Betin Aram Soba, the chief rabbi, the Ab Betin of Syria, of Halab, and Rabbi Meir Waknin, the Ab Betin of Tiberia, Vayom and Me'it, they all say yes, Shehayanu during the Omer. Lefichach, now we have the 2 teams, right? We always do this with the teams. לפיכך, therefore, נראה שאף מי שנהג להחמיר שלא לברך שהחיינו בימי הספירה על פרי חדש, even someone who until now never said שהחיינו during the Omer, בחושבו, because he thought שכן צריך להיות על פי הדין, because that's the halakha. I thought I was not allowed to say it. Until I learned this, I never knew I can say שהחיינו during the Omer. יוכל לבטל מנהגו אף בלי התרה. You can change your minhag and start saying שהחיינו, you don't even need התרה דרים. Just start right away. You don't need. Why? Your custom was a mistake. You thought the wrong halakha. That says whenever you think the wrong halakha, it's not considered a humrah. You don't even need hatara. You don't need hatara. Okay, fine. And greater than this, it seems to say, even if you knew that it was allowed from the letter of the law, and I decided to be strict all these years, you can still change your custom with no hatara. There's no fence, there's no reason to do it. It's just extra stuff that you took upon yourself. And then he says at the end, if you look at the Yerushalmi, powerful.
So we learned that from that haramot ve'isurim is when you have geder and seyat.
Yes, but
it's not
yes.
enough to say that if a person says, I don't know, when I rub my tefillin, every time I'll close my eyes.
Right, that's nonsense.
There is no geder, there is no seyat.
Exactly.
But if a person says, I would never do this and that before I do that, then it becomes a neder. Exactly. That's a very powerful message over there.
This is nothing. And you don't,
we learn.
Right. And generally, a geder and a siyag is something the rabbis told you to make, a fence the rabbis told you to make. If no one told you to make this fence,
no, but we say that
generally speaking,
people make their own geder.
We're not talking about mamash neder. It's not talking about mamash neder. Because if I made a mamash neder, not to say shechianu, I need to for that.
Correct.
So it's not a neder, but it's a minhag.
You can make your own gates.
Right. You don't make your own stuff. We have enough in Judaism. We don't have enough. He says at the end, and it says in the Yerushalmi, she'atid adam litin din v'cheshbon al ma she'ra'ata eno v'lo achal. If you saw a beautiful fruit and you didn't eat the fruit, you're going to have to give account in Shamayim. Why didn't you eat this beautiful fruit? Why? Vehu mepnei she'tzarich litet shebach ve'oda'a lehaborei parach bebikat shehayanu al kol peri hadash she'ro'eh v'tor'eh mimenu. You missed an opportunity to say thank you to Hashem for creating such a beautiful new fruit that you'd never seen in the past year. Why do you think Hashem made this fruit? For you to come and eat it and say thank you. And so if you pass up because you want to be so mahmid, you're going to have to explain yourself in Shamayim. So it actually can hurt you. Amazing, no? However, so now this is talking about fruit. When it comes to clothing, it's a little different. Because the fruit, we just said, Yerushalmi is very strict on the new fruit. When it comes to, Hashem didn't command you to go buy new clothing. So let's see about the clothing. Wearing new clothing during the Omer. Tov lahush midat hasidut. You're going to hate this one. It is good to be strict and a hasid. It's good to be strict.
Wait,
Tov.
Finish the whole thing because he says lahush. Lahush is
Tov
to feel.
to suspect.
It's still not, no, lahush is to feel.
Yes.
There's still no call for action. Let's see what.
Tov lahush b'midat hasidut lama shekatav hagaon b'Yosef Yusfa b'Sefer Yosef Ometz shemiyom Rosh Chodesh Iyar ve'elach noagim lahmir shelo lelbosh beged hadash. Rabbi Yosef Yusfa writes, now we're still in Nisan, which is a happy month. So Yusuf says, starting next week Sunday, when it's Iyad after Rosh Chodesh, you shouldn't buy new clothing. This is what he writes in his sefer. Because Iyad is less than Nisan, right? That's why Yom HaShu'ah is pushed to Iyah. Right? It's not the halacha, but he says it's good if you want to be a hasid, if you want to be a pious person, to suspect for what he's saying. Moreno Harav Chaim Palaji and Sefer Moed Kol Hai, he agrees with this also, that you should be careful. And obviously his son also, Rabbi Yitzhak Palaji, they usually agree. We had one time they didn't agree. Remember? That you shouldn't wear new clothing that require, like a suit, that requires shehayan. Abal Bishut Lebushe Mordechai, in the Sefer Lebushe Mordechai, Katav Sha'af Shebegalil Ha'aliyon, which is the upper hemisphere, right? Even though in the upper hemisphere, in parentheses, Ashkenaz, Germany, Nuagim Lahmid, Shilola Bosh Begad Hadash B'Mesefirah, they are strict and they don't wear new clothing during the Omer. Begalilut Elu, in our region, Yesh Nuagim La'akel Bazeh, we are lenient. Hoil Velo Nimsa B'Shum Posek Sheyesh La'ahmid Bazeh. There is no real posek that's saying any real reason to make this forbidden. Therefore, if you need it, if you need a new clothing, yesh sorech is a very ambiguous term.
Your coat got damaged. Got
You're talking about new clothing
that requires shechianu. That's why that's why I prefaced this.
No,
you wouldn't make shechianu on a shirt.
Right.
So then buy the shirt. Yeah, that's why we started with. That's why we did this one first.
You're gonna buy your new Prada shoes that you've been learning on.
If the Prada shoes make you happy, then hold on, wait. But let him finish.
But they come with sponsorship of Kiddush.
Yeah, once you start wearing, people look for you for the donations. But hold on, let him finish because it's important. But I think if you need it, yesh lehader lelbosh habegad hadash b'Shabbat. If you want to really buy the new suit, then buy it and wear it on Shabbat. Someone asked me actually yesterday, can I buy a new suit during the Omer?
But Milshon Idur, he says, not Milshon.
From the letter of the law, it's allowed.
Exactly.
If you want to be pious, you want to be a Hasid, buy it and wear it on Shabbat. And if you do that, there's nothing to be afraid of. Make Shechayano on Shabbat. Why? Even in the 3 weeks in the summertime on Shabbat, you're allowed to. Yes, Matidim, people say you're allowed to. If you have a farah, if you have a simcha during the Omer, for sure, let the people buy whatever they want to buy. And this is the halakha l'maaseh. So bottom line, are you allowed to buy the fruit? Am I allowed to make shechianu on a new fruit in the Omer?
You have to.
Yes.
It's not your allowed.
You should make the berachah shechianu on a new fruit. And if you don't,
That's the problem. Today, just don't really
make it on Shabbat, it's even better. You want to save the fruit for Shabbat? You're righteous. You're a hasid. No problem at all. Can I buy a new shirt on Omer? Can I buy new underwear, new socks? Can I buy pants?
You're not
Yes.
so you don't have a problem.
Can I buy something that requires a shechianu? Well, first of all, he said over here, even a car, he says you should buy the new fruit and eat it in the car to make the shechianu on the car, he says.
I have in mind.
So, I mean, what do you want to buy? You can't drive a car on Shabbat. So that's the only thing that you may have a hard time with. You could wear the product.
He's not getting it. It says about Chodesh Iyar. He did not elaborate. But don't forget that the state of Israel was founded on Chodesh Iyar.
Yeah,
Now you have a whole new element to do.
That's true. Also, like I said, Yom HaShoah, they wanted to put in Nisan.
Yeah.
Fought this like crazy. And or maybe the other Rishon Sion. They said, no, we can't have Yom HaShoah on Nisan. At least in Iyar, you have to put it. No? And so, shirt, yes. A new kippah, yes. New books, yes. He says over here, you don't make shechianu on books. You don't make shechianu on all these things. These are the laws over here about shechianu. These days, it really came down to fruit and suits, basically, is what it came down to. You don't make shechianu on books. He says you don't make shechianu if you got nominated to be the Abedin, you got the top rabbinical position in the city, you don't make shechianu. You don't make shechianu when you turn 70 years old or 80 years old. You don't make shechianu when you have a kid or a grandkid. You don't make shechianu when you buy a brand new Sefer Torah. You don't make shechianu. It's all gone these days. If you publish the book, you publish the Sefer, you don't make shechianu when you publish the Sefer. I mean, that would make me really happy. All these things, we don't do it anymore. It's just fruit.
But before they used to do it.
Before they used to do it in a lot of different things. We don't do it anymore. And so therefore, during the woman, can you make Shechianu? Yes. If you want to wait till Shabbat, even better, but just not for the car.
Wait, you should have gotten on record with the yes team.
We're not done yet. Yeah. For the record, Yoshua, you lost. Yeah. Mutad.